You don't need permission to change your life. You don't need the perfect moment. You don't need to feel ready. What you need is something most people will never develop: the ability to force yourself forward when everything inside you is screaming to stop. This is the story of how one man learned to do exactly that. His name was Youssef. At 29, most men are building something real. Youssef was building another list of goals he'd never touch. He had vision boards. He had affirmations. He had a journal full of someday plans. But goals without force are just wishes in expensive packaging. He wasn't confused about what he wanted. He was paralyzed by the gap between wanting and doing. Every January, new goals. Every December, same regrets. He knew what to do. He knew how to do it. But knowing and doing are separated by the one thing he refused to develop: the ability to force himself when he didn't feel like it. Youssef was a master of intention. He intended to wake up early. He intended to work hard. He intended to build something meaningful. But intention without force is just a prettier way to stay stuck. His pattern was predictable: set goal, feel excited, start strong, hit resistance, negotiate with himself, quit. He had quit the gym 11 times. He had started learning a new skill 8 times. He had promised himself he'd save money, then spent it on things that made him feel better. The problem wasn't laziness, it was negotiation. Every time things got hard, he'd sit down with himself and talk himself out of it. Maybe this isn't the right time. Maybe I need a different approach. Maybe I'm just not built for this. He treated his goals like suggestions, not commitments, and you can't negotiate your way to greatness. One night, Youssef stayed up late scrolling. He stumbled across an old interview with a successful entrepreneur. The interviewer asked, "What's your secret?" The man smiled and said, "I stopped asking myself if I felt like it. I decided once, and then I forced myself to honor that decision, no matter what." Youssef paused the video. He had heard advice like this before, but this time something landed differently. He looked around his apartment: unfinished books, dusty weights, a business plan from 2 years ago. Everything he touched, he abandoned. Not because he couldn't do it, because he kept giving himself permission to quit. That night, he wrote something in his journal he'd never written before: "I will not negotiate with myself anymore." He didn't know it yet, but that sentence would change everything. The years weren't cruel, they were honest. While Youssef was figuring things out, his friends were building empires. While he was waiting for the right time, others were making mistakes and learning. His younger cousin bought a house. His old co-worker got promoted twice. Even his neighbor, who he used to think was average, had something Youssef didn't: results. At a family dinner, his uncle asked him, "Youssef, when are you going to do something?" Everyone went quiet. Youssef forced a smile. "Soon." But soon had been his answer for 5 years, and everyone knew it. The next morning, Youssef decided to stop talking and start moving. He picked one goal: build a freelance business in 6 months. He woke up early. He worked after his job. He sacrificed weekends. For 2 weeks, he was unstoppable. Then the first client rejected him. Then the second one ghosted him. By week 3, he was exhausted. By week 4, he was sitting on the couch, telling himself, "Maybe freelancing isn't for me. Maybe I should try something else." The negotiation had started again. And just like every other time, he was about to lose. But this time, something stopped him. He remembered what he wrote: "I will not negotiate with myself anymore." One evening, Youssef sat with his father. His father had worked the same job for 30 years, never complained, never quit. Youssef asked him, "Baba, didn't you ever get tired? Didn't you ever want to stop?" His father looked at him and said, "Every single day." Youssef was shocked. "Then why didn't you?" His father smiled. "Because I didn't wait to feel like it. I made a decision once to take care of my family, and I forced myself to honor it every single day. He paused, then added, "The difference between boys and men, Youssef, is simple. Boys do what they feel like doing. Men do what they decided to do." That night, Youssef didn't sleep. He realized he had been living like a boy, waiting for feelings to guide him. It was time to force himself to become a man. The next morning, Youssef made a new rule. No negotiations, no excuses, no "I'll start tomorrow." He didn't rely on motivation. He forced himself. When he didn't want to wake up, he forced himself. When a client rejected him, he forced himself to send 10 more pitches. When he felt like quitting, he forced himself to do 1 more hour. It wasn't fun, it wasn't inspiring, it was brutal. But something strange started happening. The more he forced himself, the less force he needed. The habit started building itself. His body started waking up automatically. His mind stopped resisting. And after 3 months of forcing himself daily, something clicked. He didn't need to force anymore. He had become the kind of person who just did things. 6 months later, Youssef hit his goal. Not because he was talented, not because he got lucky, because he forced himself when no one else would. People asked him, "How did you do it?" He said, "I stopped waiting for the right feeling. I made a decision and forced myself to keep it." Old Youssef negotiated with himself. New Youssef eliminated the option to quit. Old Youssef waited to feel ready. New Youssef forced himself to become ready. Here's the truth no one tells you. You will never feel like doing the hard things. You will never wake up excited to sacrifice comfort. You will never want to choose pain over pleasure. But here's the secret. You don't need to feel like it. You just need to force yourself. One decision, one commitment, one refusal to negotiate. That's all it takes. Stop asking yourself if you feel like it. Stop waiting for inspiration. Stop negotiating your way out of greatness. Make the decision once, then force yourself to honor it every single day. If you're still here, you know what you need to do. You've been negotiating long enough. You've been waiting long enough. It's time to force yourself, not tomorrow, not next week, today. Pick one goal, make one decision, and stop giving yourself permission to quit. If this story gave you the push you needed, subscribe to The Wisdom Tales. Because we don't give you comfort here, we give you the truth that forces you to grow. Comment below. What goal are you going to force yourself to achieve? Not for validation, for accountability. Let's move.